Good evening.
Now, across Nigeria today, countless communities are grappling with violence, displacement, and fear. Yet, few tragedies have been as painfully ignored, as devastatingly persistent as what the Christian community of Gwoza in Borno State has endured. For years, these communities have watched their homes burn, their churches destroyed, and their loved ones abducted or killed. More than 100,000 Christians, I repeat, 100,000 Christians from Gwoza now live in displacement, scattered, grieving, and waiting for justice that never seems to come. Tonight, here on Njenje Media TV London and Nigeria, we'll bring together a panel of voices whose life, leaderships, and personal histories stand as living testimony to unspoken crisis. This town hall this evening on Njenje Media TV is not just a discussion, it is a platform to break a silence that has lasted far too long. I am deeply honored this evening to have distinguished guests here who are involved in this to be my guests. First on the list, I do have here Reverend Dr. Architect Ayuba John Bassa, a national coordinator of the Gwoza Christian Community Association, the GCCA, a man whose tireless advocacy has preserved the stories and the dignity of people fighting not just to be erased. Reverend Ayuba, you're welcome.
Thank you, and I'm honored to be with you.
Thank you very much. My next guest here is Gafs Kaita, former Director of National Directorate of Employment, an indigenous son of Gwoza, who brings decades of public service experience and intimidating understanding of the sovereign endured by the families torn apart by the insurgency. My next guest is Ali Zaki, chairman of the GCCA Plateau State Chapter, whose leadership among displaced Gwoza community reflects a rare blend of strength, compassion, and resilience. Ali Zaki, you're welcome to this conversation.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So, like I said before, these are not just speakers. What I have here this evening are witnesses, leaders, and custodians of truth. Their voices carry the weight of an entire community whose pain has been overlooked, whose cries have been dismissed, and whose faith has been tested beyond measures. What does it mean when 148 out of 176 churches are reduced to rubble? When 36,946 families from just one district are uprooted? What does that mean? When survivors still search for loved ones taken over a decade ago, what does that mean? Where is justice? When reconstruction seems to favor one faith over another, is that fair? When a people, identity, history, worship are slowly being erased? Tonight, these questions will be confronted honestly and fearlessly. Is the world ignoring a genocidal pattern? Are we witnessing a systematic attempt to silence and erase the Christian heritage of Gwoza? And most importantly, what must Nigeria and the international community do now for it not to be too late? This conversation is a plea for recognition, a demand for accountability, and a call to action. The time for silence is over. The time for truth is now. If you want, like I said, it is unbelievable that some of these things are happening, and in a society where we have people that we have yielded our powers to, who are there to represent us, who are there to speak on our behalf. Let me start by asking Reverend Ayuba, Now, my point here is I would give every one of my participants, my speakers, 3 minutes each to make an introduction on this subject matter. It doesn't matter how you want to take this. Just 3 minutes before we get into the question proper. I'll start with you, Reverend Ayuba John.
We thank God and we count it as a great opportunity to have a forum like this to voice out on behalf of all the survivors and also to tell the whole world what has happened, both outside and inside. What I mean, on the ground and outside the ground, secretly and then in the open. Boko Haram has come as just a trigger or a key to unfold so many things to us Gwoza Christians. Otherwise, we have been locked and then live in like a fish in the well, so to say, for so many of us. Only few of us that have known what is freedom outside Gwoza, and they have been staying outside Gwoza, know that in Nigeria, there is freedom of equality, there is freedom of religion. Otherwise, growing up in Gwoza, throughout your life, you now know that you are just in a cage and you have signed a verdict that being a Christian means you are not supposed to have any position, your political position, you are not supposed to have. In fact, even going to secondary one, when you are you bear Christian name, especially me, my name didn't come out, and I scored as one of the best students during my primary school to secondary one. The name wasn't there simply because I bear Christian name. So we grew up in such a society, knowing that following Christ means sacrificing all for those that are not Christian. Privileges belongs to them. Leadership belongs to them. Jobs belongs to them. Enjoyment belongs to them. If you are a Christian, you are to live a life of down and then, seeing them as your Lord also, so to speak. I thank God that my father joined army early in age. He has to go down and shout on top of that, headmaster, if my son's result hasn't come out, you will know that khaki no be leather. And the next day, my name was there. So we grew up in such a society, But few of us who were able to leave Gwoza into the society, the bigger society, Nigeria and international, knows that human rights warrants that everybody is free to exercise his religion, not in Gwoza. So that's the kind of life we grew up on. And then, Boko Haram now, open up to show us the hike of what it means to be Christian. So since it is an opening, let me just stop here for my colleagues to also share so that we can go deeper.
Okay, thank you very much. So now that we have you, Gavs, Katia, please, are you able to then unmute and give us your opening remark, please?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. What Reverend Ayuba said, I think there's nothing to add except how it has been implemented over the years. Growing up, just as he said, we knew that once you decide to become a Christian, it means you have forfeited certain privileges. I remember my father, who was part of native authority then, told me that, okay, you want to be a Christian, you are on your own. You want to be a Christian here in northern Nigeria. I said, well, I will continue to be a Christian. I think this is the type of life we were brought up. Let me recall something. In 3rd September 1963, Sarduna went to our village, Gwoza East, Ngoshe, or my own village, Arboko, to commission a police station. By then, there were very few Muslims and Christians. Most of our people were traditional believers. When Sarduna went there, she stopped at Ngoshe before proceeding to my village to commission a police barrack.
I think the network. Anyway, when he comes back, Alizaki, please, if you don't mind, take the position now to make your intervention, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I see this real privilege. I grew up seeing myself somehow as a second-class citizen, not because of anything, but because of the faith. The first shocker, the name Ali that you see in my name, is not the name that my father gave me. It's different from my baptismal name. It's different from my the birth certificate. It was just given to me in school, and we had no choice but just to use it.
Who gave you?
When in school, they just changed the name. They just changed the name.
The teachers?
The teachers, you just go, they just register you with any name and that's all. You can't say no to it. So Ali was never be my name. It was not the name that my father gave me. It's not a baptismal name. On my birth certificate, it was not so. But just like that, to start with that one. And growing up, I saw a lot of things since when we were small, and like during Christmas festivity, anytime we are going for our own festivity where we play drum and we sing songs, and almost every night they must throw stone on us. And where we will meet together and to praise God, they will get some paper scraps that it will now irritate us. In that order, we grew up in that kind of an environment, hostile environment, where you see yourself as if you are second class, you are nothing. Even going to secondary school, we saw that kind of a thing, and they can do whatever they want to do. Remember when I was in JS1, Gideon International Bible came and distributed Bible for us, both Christians and Muslims, anybody that was interested. And I remember vividly some of my Muslim classmates, they used the New Testament by Gideon International. They used the cheap paper. I even say anything sacred or do anything to their own sacred book like that. And they were not even punished. Nothing. It was just normal. My sitting mates when I was finishing primary school, right in front of my eyes, still a very small girl, was kind of given, and that is how she was married. Like that. You could not say anything. I still remember I was in secondary school, a retired military man. His wife was removed from his house and given to another man who was a Christian, became a Muslim, and was given to him. And nobody could say anything. We grew up in that kind of environment. 1991, 1992, I faced threats, death threat, where it was even, they sent letters, wrote everywhere, they want to kill me because I was a Sunday school teacher trying to teach children in school. And there was that kind of a threat. We grew up in that kind of environment as if you are nobody. You don't have an identity. You don't have anything. You can't even say anything. Even in school, you can't say anything. In government, you can't say anything. So it's not that the thing started now. It has been even before I was born. So what is just happening now is just a reflection of all that have been happening. And that's why I keep wondering. None of them can come and confront me. Where were they when all these things were happening to Christians? Where were they? My dad is over, I think he's 96 years now. He's not in Borno state. He's in another state. My mom is in another state. She's over 80 years. And every day they are asking, they want to go back and die in our own hometown. But we can't even go back. The last time they showed us where our house was, you cannot even trace it. It was somebody that just recorded and said that this was where Zaka's house was. Not a single book there to identify that this was our house. Has become a rubble completely. Nobody is saying anything. Where were they when all these things were happening? The target was not even on general people. The target was Christian. And to me, I'm seeing that it's just that God started answering our prayers. It is even in the Bible where the enemy, they start fighting themselves. And I keep asking a question. I have not heard till today where they entered and they say, in Jesus' name, they started killing. Then, if they are trying to deny what is happening, why can't they bring out clearly? So let's just dive into the details, and there will be a time where we can talk about
exactly. Let's dive into the details. But before we do, Gavs just came back, and I'll ask him to unmute. Now, Gav, something is very striking here. I asked a very simple question, and for three of you to do your own opening, remarks, however you want to open your remarks. But it is striking that three of you started your remarks with injustice and suppression that's been done to you. That's how you've started, basically the marginalization that you've grew up with. But sitting and I'm listening, and Gavs, why I said I want you to speak on this. Before I get into the question, but on the general note of the things and the experiences you've had, and looking at your CV, you retired as a former director of the National Directorate of Employment. You are a Christian, you are from Gwoza. So how come in the midst of all this, how did you then get to that position, and what were your experiences? If you may take 2 minutes for that, please.
Oh, thank you very much, my brother. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Me?
Go ahead. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. When I passed out of primary school, I went to secondary school outside my local government in the Northeast. It was called Northeastern State then. So when I graduated, I proceeded to university. When I finished, I never wanted to go back to Borno State. Before I finished, Borno State was already created out of Northeastern State. So I decided to take up federal appointment, knowing fully well what was happening in the state. When I was working with the National Directorate of Employment, that place was established to combat youth restiveness. When I was working, then fast forward, if the organization I'm working for, was to stop youth restiveness, then I found myself in 2006, this thing was happening in my state. The killings, the Boko Haram started doing this. Then my director said, why don't you go and ask these people, what do they want? That was the former governor of Yobe State, Abubakar Ibrahim. Because I was working there, I was in charge of our office there. Then we started discussing, calling their leaders that, look, what do you want? What they told us clearly, what they told me clearly as the head of that organization is that, look, these people that, let me tell you how the Boko Haram came about. If because you went to school, now you are corrupt, it is because of that Western education that you went to, and you see yourself corrupt, take everything that is supposed to belong to the society, then we will go after you. So at that point, it was not looking like they are the Boko Haram. It is the other people in the civil service who are using Western education that are Boko Haram. But they are calling themselves Boko Haram fighters. So this is my experience with them. I continue to dialogue with them, and they continue to tell me, look, we are not after ordinary people. Until when the politicians understood that these people will stop what they want. So the politicians now turn around and demonize them by saying they are Boko Haram. Well, the actual thing, it is those who are working in the civil service trying to get everything to themselves that are called Boko Haram. That is, it is an abomination to have certain things that are supposed to go down to the masses, and then you corner it to yourself and your family, and then you come and show off to them. So they will go after the Boko Harams. That is those people that are perpetrating the haram, the abomination.
But how does, I mean, if we take the definition of
so this is my experience with my work. Well, you see, it is the politicians that are changing the definition to demonize them, to go after them, and then they continue to have the field day. It's a divide and rules thing. The experience I gathered in my working place is totally different from the narratives outside. So anyway, you asked me how I rose up to that level. You know, in the federal civil service, they don't discriminate. Once you write your promotion exam and you pass it, you go ahead with it. The only experience I had where I had that discrimination was when I was recommended to be a director general. Then Abakari, the former chief of staff, was in the presidency. He was the chief of staff. Baba Chilawa was the secretary to government that recommended me to be director general. So when I went to meet Abakari, the chief of staff to the president, that's where the religion came in. He said, you are not a Muslim, you are not a Kanuri. How can you be from Borno? You will not be given that DG. Then I stopped there. That is the only time that I wanted to rise, despite my Christian background, but I couldn't. So,
okay. So now, for clarity here,
I
for
have
many of us,
enough. I mean, if you ask other questions.
Okay, thank you very much. I think let me quickly, Ali Zaki here, for clarity's sake, for some of us who are not from Borno State, is Gwoza a subset of a tribe? You know, like in Borno, we know we have Kenuri, right? Is Gwoza also a subset of, just like Kenuri? So is he also a tribe, or aside being a community at it? as it were?
No, Gwoza is a local government, is one of the local government. I think with 70 different dialects and languages, completely different.
Sorry, you broke away there. How many languages?
I think about 17 languages.
Okay.
So, for instance, if I will speak my own language, which is of the Dr. Yuba may not even understand, it's completely different.
Okay.
We have small languages in Gwoza local government, but it's one of the old local government in
the
Borno
unifying
State.
language that
And
is
one of
being
the
spoken
largest.
everywhere is Hausa, right? The
Yeah,
common language.
yeah.
Okay. Now,
yes.
Based on first-hand, this is my first question now. Based on the first-hand reports, how would you describe the scale and nature of attacks on Christians in Gwoza over the past decade? Alizaki,
Is it
can
to
you
me
take
or
that?
the? Okay.
No,
Yes.
just go
Okay.
ahead, Alizaki. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much. This thing started far before 2014. What happened earlier than that? We were just seeing some different sects, and it was becoming like a term where some youth, maybe they want to greet, and we will just hear them, they will just say Shabab. So we didn't even know that they were referring to things like El Shabab. So it was just like a common thing. They would just say Shabab like that. Then they started bringing a lot of people from the city, and they will come like for debate. I cannot lay hand on that tape, but there was a debate with Malum Lawa and Babazaka. That Babazaka is my father. So they will come for such a debate, and most of the debate they were using, which was based on Ahmed Didat's philosophy, and which is logical. It's only somebody who has an understanding on the issue of the apologetic that will respond to some of the questions that they were asking. Then there have been some small attack, and we started receiving some warnings that, okay, this is what is happening until 2014, when there was that kind of a strike that they started attacking Christians. The Muslims were never been their target. So Christians started running away, started fleeing away. And for us that we were not in Gwoza then, we were already outside Gwoza, we try to see how we can help Christians from leaving that community. And that's what happened. Not until when the last rock came, they didn't even distinguish between Christians and Muslims. They just attacked randomly, and that is where a lot of Christians died. And even before that, even when they killed the emir of Gwoza, but initially it was not so. From there, it escalated to something different and becoming more and more sophisticated, taking over other communities and expanding. But initially, it was not so. So a lot of people, especially Christians, started running away. Most of them are in Cameroon and other part of the nation.
So, just as a understanding question here, why do you think Emir of Gwoza was killed? Was he not a Muslim? So, a Muslim cannot, if you're not a Muslim, obviously you cannot become an emir, isn't it? Okay. Gavs. Okay, if you answer that, Gavs want to say something as well, just quickly. Why do you think he was killed?
Yes. Yeah, Gavs can talk.
Okay. So, Gavs, go ahead.
Yeah.
Unmute, please.
The emir of Gwoza was killed because he stood against injustice that was perpetrated against Christians.
Okay.
he was all out to say no, that we don't have to discriminate against these people. In his time, for the first time, you remember, we told you, Reverend Ayuba told you that Christians were not allowed to be village heads, district heads. But in his own time, Christians became village heads, even district heads. This did not go down well with certain group of people. I remember, we all remember, when some elites wrote a petition against him to Alimadu Sharif to say that this emir does not know how to rule. And they took the letter to Alimadu Sharif. So that petition was to remove him as an emir. But then the emir of Gwoza couldn't have appointed district heads and village heads without the approval of Alimadu Sharif, who was the governor. So that's how he escaped being removed by the elites of Gwoza. Then, you know, they were still harboring it until when this Boko Haram thing came. Who knows how they did it?
Okay, so what you're also saying is that, in your view, Alimadu Sharif was also a moderate.
Yeah,
he was a moderate. Okay, or rather, he is a moderate. You know.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Now, to Reverend Ayuba, based on the pattern of destruction documented so far by the GCCA, you know, do you think it's, I mean, in your view, I'm not saying this is the dictionary definition, do you think that the pattern of destruction that you know, that you've been involved in documenting, that you've seen, do you think that meets the criteria for what the international community will classify as genocide or something very targeted to you?
Yeah, because most of the villages that hosted Christian community have been wiped out completely. What does that call? It has to be called a genocide. So, even though most of the people occupying those villages have escaped somewhere, at least to 27 different IDP camps all over Nigeria in 7 states, outside their own state, outside their own local government. And those lands, majority of them are being occupied by Boko Haram. You can't go there scot-free without a shot from them. And also, especially that those that are on the Mandara Mountain, they are from my maternal and then paternal parents, have occupied that place. You can't imagine, not even in a dream, that I can say the guy, my own tribal people, can go back home while their own relatives that are Boko Haram living there and will allow them. No, they will finish them and flush them. So we still stand on that word. It is called genocide. The blood that was shed, when we speak, we have evidences. You can see an album with me of people that were killed, the Christians that were killed at the beginning of Boko Haram attack. They had a tactics that even the Muslims doesn't know. Tactics number 1 is to please the Muslim by killing and driving every Christian. When they have finished that, it's like you have a dog that feeds on humans without knowing that when every human are gone, that dog would turn on you and start eating you up. That was what has happened. So They chase every Christian. They burned the churches. They want the churches. At least 90% of all the churches, 95% of all the churches, they burnt it, and people were hailing them. Majority of the Muslims are clapping their hands, looting our houses. The more Christians are running away, the more they are entering their houses. I know 6 people, youth, by name and by person, who looted my own house when when it was, destroyed. They went and took my mattresses and everything, and people are calling me, it's so that took this one. And they were happy, jubilating, looting Christian families' home.
And you haven't been able to. When did this happen? And have you been able to go back since then?
No. Where will I stay? After looting, burning, they set all the houses on fire.
Which year?
During the Christmas,
which year did this happen to you?
My last time in Gwoza was when I went for Christmas with my family in 2012. When the Boko Haram, we are just hearing it on the ground. And in the front of my house is the route to my paternal and maternal home. And those our relatives that are living uphill, working in abattoir in Maiduguri, were converted into Boko Haram. They were moving, on bikes, on trucks, on whatever, with ammunition to the hill. They pass in front of my house, moving, shouting, moving. People were wondering, what are these guys doing? And then they could even show it, with bragging kind of attitude. But the security men are just, there's nothing they can do. We don't know, Sha. But at the beginning, they asked the Emir of Gwoza never to reveal their secret, or else they will kill him. So even when 3 of our church secretary and our elder brother, and also my teacher, Bulus Togo, were shot in front of my house. When you ask the Emir of Gwoza, then are there Boko Haram, he will still deny it and say no, because they threatened to kill him if he opened out his mouth. But when the pressure was high, he has to say it. And the moment he announced that Boko Haram are real and we have them in Gwoza, they started going after him until they get him. So that is the kind of threat. When the whole Christian passes away, they now come back to the Muslim. Okay, you either follow our rules or else we finish you. So those ones that are stubborn in Islam started getting their own persecution. They either leave or they shoot them. So that's the tactic, actually.
So does it mean now, if one goes to Gwoza today, there is no more Christians or churches in Gwoza?
Yeah, in a dominated area like Gwoza town itself, not the villages at the periphery and other towns. Gwoza town itself, the capital of the local government, and a bigger town like Limankara and Plika. So during the vice president now, when he was the governor, when he sees people coming and there are Christians, we wrote to him that these people Christians are coming, and we have them in Gwoza, and there's no worship place. He asked us to identify the ones that they could use. We identify about 12, and he sent in the money, and they were rehabilitated. He used his staff, a staff of the state government, called, he's from Limankara. He's one of our uncle who handled those things. So 12 churches, and these are the churches that are standing up to today, out of 170 large churches. So 12 are standing.
Okay. So thank you very much. Now, Gavs, I come back to you. And I think, listening to what John Ayuba said, to you I will ask, what specific events or turning points marked the escalation of the violence experienced in Gwoza? You may unmute, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you, sir.
Your question again, please.
I say, what?
Please, your question again.
Okay, what specific events or turning points marked the escalation of violence in Gwoza?
I think it was a gradual process.
Okay.
The event that marked the turning point is the politics. You know, Reverend Yuba has told you that it has been there since when we were brought up. When politics came in, the politicians wanted to divide the people along this religious line using the existing differences. Now, when they had election 2011, when that was the peak of the activities of this terrorism, the terrorism started through the politics. Now, when the election came, they used that differences, knowing fully well that when you use religion, since the state government is predominantly Muslim, they would now run to state government. They will be supported to win elections, and using that sentiment, religious sentiment. I think that was the peak, 2011, using politicians using the sentiment, the already existing differences among the people of Gwoza. So that was the turning point.
It's quite instructive that you say 2011. 2011 was when Goodluck Jonathan contested to, to that election. Do you think it has anything to do that Goodluck Jonathan is a Christian trying to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2021? 2011.
Anything can happen. We could hear, okay, where is this your Jonathan that you have voted for? Like I was telling you, the politicians started using the religious sentiment. Naturally, the Christians voted for Jonathan using this divisive position. So they would say, where is that your Jonathan? Let him come and salvage you now. Let him come and rescue you now. So that was how it was. Then one of the politicians, Reverend Yuba knows from his tribe, went even to abduct his own people who are not Muslims. His own people, and we cannot know, we don't know where they are. 2013, I think 2013, they were abducted from the village. So to us, we will not know what is it all about. Is it the politics?
Okay.
Is it the religious sentiment? That is
now, I hear you. Now, before I move to another person, if you just suppose 2023 and 2011 as a Christian, and I understand the Southern Borno voted massively for a Christian candidate in the last election. Is there any similarities in terms of your perception of what happened in 2011 and in 2023?
Well, you are asking the right question to the right person. I was the coordinator of Peter Obi in Borno State. Are you getting that?
Yeah.
But actually, the vote did not go that way.
Okay.
Christians did not vote for Peter Obi.
Okay.
I was the coordinator. So I can tell you the vote Peter Obi got was not that much in Borno State.
Mm-hmm.
So the 2023 election did not go that way. I can tell you that. Yeah.
Okay. So, but in terms of, I mean, you know, since after that election, have there been any
Hello?
form of escalation of conflict since after the 2023 election?
The conflict has been escalating since then. You know, the politicians wouldn't take it like that as long as the conflict benefits them more. Anytime it wants to come down, the politicians will play it up. So they would never want that sentiment or the conflict to be wished away.
Okay.
It continues. And if you see what is even happening now, well, maybe if you ask that question, we'll come to that.
Okay. So, you know, thank you for the answers. Let me come to you back, Ali Zaki. How have the mass destructions of churches and homes affected the spiritual, cultural, and social identity of Christians, the Christian population in Gwoza? You know, reason why I picked that question for you, because you mentioned that at some point you were a catechist or a teacher in the church, right? So, as someone who is deeply engaged and involved in this, how has this mass destruction affected the people of Gwoza and the Christian population?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm currently, last week I was asking the community that is in the eastern part of Gwoza, which is Ngoshe, apart from the Gwoza town, Pulka and Ngoshe, these are the major places where they are. And I was trying to follow up to find out, okay, what is happening? How many Christians are there? Of all the number, more than 10,000 Muslims are there, and of the Christian is not more than 103 households that are there among them all. That's one. Two, we have lost everything. I just gave an example. If I cannot identify this was my father's house, because they have completely destroyed it, leveled it completely. You will not even know that, okay, there was a house there in that place. Two, if at this age, my father, who is reaching 100, because of age, he's blind now, he cannot even see, have lost his ancestral land, cannot even go back to his own land. You can see the effect that is having on them. Anytime he calls me or my mother calls me, they will say, please, we don't want to die in another man's land. We want to go and die in our hometown. As a son, how do you feel? It's somehow very difficult. Now, apart from that, so many of our people are now scattered all over. And even our language is going extinct. My children cannot even speak our local language. And so many of them that could speak when they come out, they can't even speak. And what will happen to that language? That means it's becoming extinct. What about our culture? It is. I have seen some people, because when they learned that I was on the plateau, and they were seeking for help for a safety, over 4,000 of them came to Plateau State. It cannot even go back. Over 60,000 are in Cameroon. What will happen to them? What will happen to their lands? We can't even identify it again. What about all the houses, all that we have worked for? You can't even identify. We don't even have a history. All our pictures, because we left it, it was at home, and my mother could just do the best that she could. She buried them. After 10 years, what happened? It's completely lost. We don't even have like social media, maybe everything like that. What happened? Some of our documents are completely lost. What happened to it? It's completely lost. We have a lot of issues that it's not just an issue of identity that is even affecting, even in our spiritual life. Some say that since church will not help them, they will not help them. Some have even resolved to go back to traditional way how they can fortify themselves so that they can now get themselves, which is affecting their faith. Some mentally they will never be stable. So when the parents were killed, so they know who killed so person. Like my mother can count all the numbers because she was in the village. And even when she was threatened, being an old woman, traditionally, what she did, she removed her hair, her scarf. Her hair is completely white, which is in our culture, a woman will not do something like that. And the next thing she was to do was just to remove her clothes so that she would stay naked and said, now, what do you want? This is the truth. And they knew it. She was even looked on how they will kill her because she has some truth. Then the fourth person that was killed in my village is younger brother to my father, Babu Joseph Buduara, Nuhu Buduara, I mean. He was killed in the church because they came, they wanted to kill my father. My father was not at home. My mother have already carried my father out of the house. So they burnt, because they know his room, they now burnt that room, thinking that he will be dead inside. And who are the people that did this thing? They are my uncles and my cousins. We know them by name.
So
it's
they
not
are
that we
okay.
don't know them.
They are your cousins and
Then
your
even
uncles of a
they are my
different
cousins
faith.
and my uncles.
Of a different faith. Or
My
the same
own
faith.
blood cousins and my uncles. It's just the difference is just religion. We know them. It's not that we don't know them. It's a fictional story.
So in this case now, because there is
We
a
know
question. No, sorry, Ali here. People in the comment section been asking question whether the Muslims in Gwoza are indigenous or how come. But if you're saying that they are your cousins, that means they are as well indigenous people like you are. The only problem is that's the only issue here is a question of religion.
Yes, a lot of them, they are foreigners that came late, but most of them that were leading were our own people. We know them by name. Reverend Dr. Ayuba knows it. We were among the team that went under the United Nations for humanitarian dialogue. And I explained everything to them. And some of these, my uncles were there. And I pointed their names, they were there. Assuming they're here, I could have called their names. And what happened? That thing could not materialize because they refused to sign the document. They wanted to twist even the statistics. They wanted to twist the narrative of what happened. And we said, no, we know the story and this is what is happening. And we called them by names. So we have indigenous Muslims that are from that community. Some of them are our relations. Some of them we school together with them.
And they could do all these things to you because of religion.
Just because of faith. To shock you, my uncle's wife, the elder brother to my father, same mother with my own father, his wife, who was a Muslim, led other people to go and kill her own son. He's in Abuja. She just died last year. After she suffered, she went to Cameroon. She came out and she just died in Taraba. So her own son now wanted to come and retaliate to kill her because she was the one that led people to come and kill her own son. Because the ideology they gave them, that if you kill somebody close to you, you will be rewarded. You have a higher reward. So understand that kind of complex, the ideology they were having. So they are not far, we know them. There are some people that came and joined because they have a lot of functions. It's like a business like that. But the people that started are our own people. 1992, who are the people that wanted to kill me? I know them, they are my own people. Okay. When they heard that I was in Jos, they even followed me to Jos to make sure that they eliminate me. When I was going to Maiduguri, I have to go under security because they were targeting me that they want to eliminate me. So the destruction they have caused, mentally, we cannot even recover. In terms of resources, we can't even recover. Imagine all that we have worked for have been destroyed completely. We are starting afresh. Imagine you have children now, you cannot even take them to their own hometown. Imagine you have your parents that are asking you, we don't want to die, we want to go and die in our own ancestral land. You cannot take them. Imagine where I'm working currently, because of the security challenge, they cannot allow me to go there even if I want to go. So it's more than what they are just saying. The impact is more than that one.
Okay. It's you know, sometimes it could be it's benumbing, and that, you know, something like this is still happening in Nigeria of today. Now, Ayuba, I come back to you, Reverend, and you know, when I read some of the reports that I was sent, I think to myself, with over 107,000 Christians displaced, 107, I mean, we'll count up to 1,000, we'll count up to 10, count up to 100, now count up to 107. From Gwoza is, you know, are now being displaced. What conditions are they currently facing in these various IDP camps and refugee settlements where they are?
Conditions they are passing through is horrible. I say horrible. It's unbearable. The problem is the government of Borno State has a kind of give them up, because that has been their prayer, maybe because of politicians especially. There is no any intervention in any way. No any prominent politician has ever visited them. Maybe few in Maiduguri.
Who is your senator? Sorry,
Senator Ndume.
Ali Ndume. Okay, he mentioned some of it. Some of those are horrific. So he's even as spoken as he is, he's not making any form of intervention, especially those in the IDP camps.
No, he doesn't. And at the beginning, we're thinking, now that Boko Haram has dealt with both the Christian and Muslim, since they now met in Maiduguri as a sample ground, a camp was formed. And lo and behold, in the evening, all of them queue to take meal. As the Christians are putting their dishes, they say, no, this is a Christian. You either Islamize yourself, otherwise there's no food for you.
In the IDP camp?
In the IDP camp, in the government IDP camp. They shouted and called us, this was what is happening. We either Islamize or else there's no food for us. We rushed and create an IDP camp for ourselves. Say, oh, now that you left the IDP camp of the government, we are not going to give you anything. And the governor makes sure that no any organization would go directly.
Which governor was that?
The former governor and this current governor, especially this current governor, has
former governor
of any international intervention to go directly to IDP camp and give your aid. No, it has to be given to him He will be the one to decide.
Hold on, Reverend. When you talk about the former governor, you mean Kazim Shettima, right?
Kazim Shettima, politically.
So, hold on. So, Shettima was aware that Christians in the IDP camp were not being fed, and you guys came together to open up an IDP camp for Christians, and Kazim Shettima told you guys that he was not going to sponsor the Christian IDP camp.
Of course, he made one move when politics, or what do you call election, was very close. He decided to send some grains. But when this Zulum came, he shut every door. He shut every door. If you are not in government camp, we are not going to give you anything. And if you are in government camp, you have to Islamize. So
was that also was that also a policy by Zulum or overzealous workers?
Those that are threatening for the change of religion within the camp are overzealous people. But Zulum's fault was that he knew these are camps belonging to Christians from Gwoza, but he could not reach out with any help whatsoever. And all the IDP camps that we have all over the countries, 27 of them, Zulum has never visited one, except the one in Cameroon, the refugee camp. He visited to evacuate people of, can I say, Kanuris, his own tribal, whatever. He was able to do that. And then recently he sent some people. I don't know whether it is playing politics or so, to Gwoza people that please, the governor has sent us to tell you to prepare to come. Are you willing to withstand Boko Haram? These are the languages they are using. They say, what kind of language is this? Have you prepared ground for us? We are always willing. They said, oh, anybody that wants to come, he should fill the form. Thinking nobody will fill the form. 18,600 filled the form out of the 56,000 that we are having. 18,000 decided to fill the form. Up to today, no one says anything to them.
So let me understand something. Yes. Before Zulum, we had Ali Modi Sharif. That's when they started. And Zulum was before Zulum. Before Shettima was Ali Modi Sharif. So between Ali Modi Sharif and Shettima, now Zulum, what effort do you think they have made to ensure that those in the IDP camps go back? Now, in your considered opinion, do you think what is happening to your people in Gwoza, do you think government is using it as a way of, as a means of getting foreign aid with no intention to make sure that your families and your relatives go back to their ancestral homes?
Yes. In Gwoza, houses, skeletal houses of Christians were there, including mine. None was rehabilitated. But all of them were occupied by other faiths who came from other towns and villages and now occupy our houses. And
so you mean most of the houses people are living inside?
Of course. Where will the Christian whose house are still standing within Gwoza town stay if they come back? And the other towns outside Gwoza have been destroyed. Where will they come? Now, some few villages that the governor will just go and carve out their land and begin to build houses, 250 housing units, 250,000 unit, 250 housing unit. 3. He is now doing another 500 housing unit. He will just send a message that please, tomorrow he will call and if your village is in that area, you will not get the information, and your IDP camp is in Taraba. He will now announce this night that tomorrow houses in so village that are built will be distributed. Before you leave Taraba and come, they will now say they have already finished the occasion and keys were given to people. You that are owning those land have missed out. And most of these people that are missing those houses, all of them are Christian, if I can say. Only 3 Christian, I'm still reiterating, all these housing units that he has constructed, only 3 Christian that we could say, yes, they have the key.
Only 3 from 500.
750. And then the next 500 that is coming now to make it 1,250, we don't know what will happen. There is no equality. There is no justice. Wow. A village that is containing Christian, when you develop, call them, let them take over. A village that is containing Muslims, when you build it, call them, let them take over. We are not jealous of any other religion or any other persons. But give us what is belonging to them. If you don't want to republish our houses, what of those villages that you are building? Call the owner of the villages, let them take over. Do it one after the other so that we can cover. We now know that we have a leader who is willing to hear us and who is willing to welcome us. Otherwise, they are pushing us every day out. That is the biggest problem we are facing. So,
if I may just add, for instance, so that we don't forget, when I look at the list, I don't know if you remember, Dr. Yuba, I look at the list of the people that are saddled with the issue of returning. And most of them, they are not Christians, almost all of them. I don't know if I've seen one Christian
no
name.
Single Christian.
Yes, apart from that one, some of them, they are even allegedly accused of being part of facilitating the issue of this Boko Haram.
Of course.
How will you involve people like that? There's a standard rule. If we are talking about transition or restorative justice, there's a standard rule governed globally. He's not following something like that. How can you, for instance, just go and announce, bring people from Cameroon? There's a standard rule. There is a guiding rule if you are talking about returning people like refugees, if you are talking about restorative justice, if you are talking about transitional justice. But all these things are not put in place.
Okay.
How can you now, if they are saying that, okay, things like this, okay, government is having an interest, yet we have good number of Christians, especially, for instance, in the eastern part of Gwoza. Christians are more than Muslims, and yet we are not even being seen as if we are people or we have a voice.
Okay. Let me bring Gavs to this conversation back again. And my question to you will be, based on your experience, I mean, a former director, what efforts, if any, have the federal government made towards rebuilding Christian communities in Gwoza? Have you people really reached out? If the state is not doing enough, if the state is marginalizing you, is there anything the federal government is doing? You have unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Okay, let me just tell you. Immediately after my retirement, I registered an NGO, Gwoza Refugees Resettlement Initiative, and we have been writing to the previous government, Buhari's government. The previous people in humanitarian department told us bluntly that these are not the type of people that we were asked to pay attention to. Are you getting
what makes you not to be the type of people?
Well, I specifically I can call names who said that one. So we did not give up. That government went, and we are writing again on 8th January 2024, based on the renewed agenda we wrote to this present president. He approved it. He said, well, go and do it. The National Refugees Commission was directed to do something about our plight. Well, the commissioner there then was excited immediately after the directive. She took some money, went to Borno State, and the Borno governor said, those are not the people that we want you to return. Bring this money, let us return people from Niger and Chad. Then when she finished that, she came back, relayed the information that some people from Gwoza wrote a letter appealing to the president for them to be repatriated back to their ancestral homes. So I called this meeting so that we can now discuss how we can do it. But already I have gone to Maiduguri. The governor has asked me to repatriate people from Niger and Chad. Then I talked to him, said, you are the Honorable Commissioner, National Refugees Commissioner. You said this meeting, the president gave you directive based on the letter of appeal letter to by refugees in Cameroon. Then you did not even consult us. You went and took some money, give to the governor.
I think your network is.
He was sorry, that was an oversight. Since the government, the government as the commission, the agencies, this government in saying that no matter what directive the present president gives, they will sabotage it until maybe the president directly intervenes by constituting a committee to say, okay, repatriate these people, independent committee from these agencies who are there before even these people were expelled, and they couldn't do anything about it. So you can see now how complex it is. Even the president gives directive, has the empathy for these people to be repatriated. Those who are supposed to carry out the directive may not be favorably disposed to bringing them back. So we are doing something. We are begging them and say, okay, please change your mindset. Bring these people. So this is what we are. Yeah.
But it has been long. You people have been begging for the state to do something, and from your explanation now, the federal government is also not entirely doing anything. Are there other like Christian entities outside Nigeria that you and your people are running to? Are they willing to help?
No, I don't want to say that this government is not doing anything. This government is willing to do something. But like I was telling you, those people that are supposed to carry out the directives who are appointed by the previous administration in that commission, the directors, the heads were all part of it, sympathetic to a different cause, not our cause. That's what I'm telling you. So I don't want...
No, but sorry, but it's been 2 years in. It has been 2 years in.
This government doesn't want to do something.
Nothing has changed.
As in regards to reaching out, well, if you talk about that one, nothing has changed yet in Nigeria since this government came in, except the removal of oil subsidy. Even we are talking about the ambassadors, they are not appointed. So maybe it's studying the situation, it's taking its time. I don't want to speak for you, for the government, but we have seen the willingness on the government part, this government, that these people should be repatriated, but it's been sabotaged within.
Okay, so in 1 minute, if you may, let me go to another person. But in 1 minute, are you confirming that there are documented cases of discrimination in the reconstruction or resettlement between Christians and Muslim communities?
Precisely. Confirmed that even when these people wrote a letter to the president appealing to come back, the president of the Refugees Commission that signed the letter was vilified, and he had to run to asylum in Canada now.
Wow.
Just because, why did he write that letter without the consent of the governor? Before you know it, Nigeria ambassador to Cameroon was called. The United Nations Commission, governor of Far North East region was called, and they were all on the man's head that you better write an apology to this letter. When he got back to me, I said, okay, you just wrote that you are appealing to the government to repatriate your people back, and you have not mentioned anything about the government of Borno State. Unless you are shown some specific clause or some specific phrases in that letter that is offensive, then you write the apology. They were not able to say it except that he is a Christian and she wanted to repatriate these people back.
But was anywhere in that letter that she mentioned about the religion or the belief of those people?
Nothing. I can maybe in a WhatsApp, I can give you the letter, all the letters. We are in correspondence with the federal government. Nothing at all. Okay. It is when they get wind of it that these people wrote a letter requesting to come back, appealing to the president to come back. Then they got annoyed.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, again, regarding when we talk about accountability and justice, that means whether for whatever has happened so far, if you guys are getting any form of justice, and if those who are supposed to be acting are getting the right accountability as well, then in one of the documents that was availed to me regarding the 5 missing Gwoza residents allegedly detained in 2013, what progress has been made in seeking answers or justice? Ayuba, I don't know if you were able to take that, and Alizaki, if you also have any contribution on that.
Can you repeat it, please?
I hope you are aware of that.
Wasn't fine when you were talking. Please, can you repeat it?
Okay, I said regarding the 5 missing Gwoza residents allegedly detained in 2013. What progress has been made in seeking answers or justice to those individuals?
Yeah, no progress yet, but we did our best at the inception of the event. We follow up immediately.
So where are they now?
We don't know where they are.
And could you walk us through why were they arrested? Can you tell us the story behind that for our audience who may not have read the documents?
Yes.
Do you have their pictures?
Yes, I do. They stood against The pictures are here, right here. Okay. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So except this one, by my finger, except this one.
Okay.
But this 5.
So what were their crimes?
Their crime was simple. They are defending their fellow Christian against Boko Haram. Come to my house and hide. Your relative is Mr. So, he might kill you. Come to my house and hide. Suddenly, we don't want to connect it to an event that has happened when the former deputy governor came in with one of the House of Rep man now, when he was a commissioner. They came in to consult people that were displaced. Before they came in, they sent a message. Please, Muslim, gather in one place. We are coming to greet you. Instead of coming to greet the Christians that were displaced. So it was the Muslim who were living in their home now, quickly left their home and gathered in one side, and they brought food for them. And so suddenly the Christian, this youth came in and said, no, this is not justice. We are the one who were chased out of our homes. These guys have been in their houses. And now you are bringing food for them. Here we are, outside our homes. Suddenly they took offense. 5 days later.
Who were those that took offense? The state government officials?
The governor, the deputy governor was there, and then the commissioner was there.
And that was under Sheriff? No.
Yes.
Yeah,
no,
that was
under Shetima.
Under Shetima, okay.
Yes. So
but
they
I
left
thought,
5 days.
I thought Gav said that Shetima could be considered a moderate.
No, his deputy was from Biu. He's late now. So 5 days later, here are these 10 youth from Maiduguri, and they happen to be from that same village with a tag that they are now civilian JTF bearing Christian names, and all of them were Muslims. We know them by name and by face. They went into the village and were able to adopt 3 of these youth who spoke against the authority, and beat them into pop, brought them to army checkpoint, point, and said, please, these are Boko Haram. Can you kill them? Thank God one of the army recognized one. This is Matthias. He is neither even a Muslim, not to talk of Boko Haram. We know him. There was a clash. Before they could take any action, over 300 women came in, women fellowship, with their wrappers, with their uniform, church uniform, that these are our children. They are not Boko Haram. They are all Christian. Release them. They did not release them. Suddenly, they called the attention of the former vice chairman of the local government, Honorable Bukar Musa. Is the first on the list. Yep. He rushed there and called the attention of the army. Please, please, please. I know all these boys. They are all Christians. They are not Boko Haram. Release them. They said, okay, after 30 minutes, we will release them. And they kept communicating. The army kept communicating. After 30 minutes, he entered again. They said, you promised after 30 minutes. Here am I, please. They said, no, go out again after 1 hour. They kept communicating. After 1 hour, the women pressurized him. Please enter. Daddy, enter and tell them to release our children, please. He went in. That was the last time, they couldn't allow him come out. They joined together with him. Suddenly, they came out and scared people with guns. And women, youth were running away. And then here are these 4 people behind their pickup with 2 armies standing ahead of them with guns. They left 9 vehicles of armies on convoy. they left towards Pulka.
And
We're thinking whether they are
and they left with all of them.
either they will be going to their office in Gwoza or they will take them to Maiduguri. Up to now, we don't know where they took them to. We knew the armies that were on duty. We knew those boys who went and did those atrocities. We knew them. We wrote their names to the army. Up to now, the only letter the army, after writing about 4 letters to them, they now reply to us that that area, they don't remember if they ever use a point there for their operation, and more so, the village now has been evacuated, so they can't go there and ask anybody. Call us, we will tell you, we will call hundreds of the villagers to you today, so that you can hear from them. No, that was what they wrote on their letter. So we are still pursuing the case.
So what is your gut's feeling? Do you think that these individuals are still alive somewhere? Or do you think the moment
they will be the only person to tell you? Because 2 years ago, no, this is the 3rd year, they arrested 3 of the youth from that village again, different youth. We looked for them up and down. We couldn't find them. 9 months later, after we have, almost given up, we went to TV station. We wrote on papers that we're looking for them. They were arrested. We don't know who arrested them. Suddenly, I received a call. I was in Jos. The military intelligence people called me. We are military. Please, where are you? I said, I'm in Jos. When are you coming? The next day, I said, okay, we want to see you. This is a military intelligence officers. I said, okay. I came in. They said, okay, we want to tell you that we are very sorry. We have 3 of your people in our custody. We find out that they are not actually Boko Haram. We are thinking the allegation on them that they were Boko Haram. After doing all our retreat check, they are not Boko Haram. Wait for us in your office tomorrow. We will bring them. We were in our own office here in Zone 4. Suddenly, a black, Sienna came in. And here are these 3 guys. After releasing them, they now begin to tell us that while there, they were asking them, where is Honorable Bukar Musa? After a month, they will still ask them, where is Honorable Bukar Musa?
So who is that Honorable Bukar Musa? The Bukar Musa is
the former vice chairman.
The one who came to rescue, who came to rescue them.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we hear that from them, they say they think Honorable Bukar Musa is still there. We should continue to pursue this case. We now wrote to them, please, if they are still with you, release them, because this was the testimony of these guys after spending 9 months with you people. So up to now, there was no reply.
No, but I don't know if I connect the story very well.
Yes.
If the military that held these 3 boys or 3 men will be seeking answers from them as to where Honorable Musa is, that means Honorable Musa is nowhere to be found again. Because
why don't they ask their army officers who
exactly
were on duty?
So why were they asking those that came? So probably what I'm deducing from here is maybe from the reports they've read, there was no entry made that Honorable Musa made it to the station. So maybe they've told them we'll release them in town. So they were asking those boys who now came from the same place to know if they knew if Musa was still in the community. I don't know, but that's the only deduction I can do. Honestly, this is some of the things I'm hearing this evening sounds
they were nowhere to be found. So
sounds like science fiction. Now, and let me bring Ali Zaki here. It appears in the quest to find answers, you visited groups like the Brekete family, Ordinary President Ahmed Issa, and you went to see if we can help uncover the truth about the disappearance of the people of yours. Since after you visited Brekete family, has there been any breakthrough?
No, our submission is still with them. They asked us to bring the list of the armies and their phone numbers and the list of those either, can I say, fake or original civilian JTFO. So their list and their phone numbers, we sent them. I sent it to them. So we're still waiting for them. They said, okay, I can now go. They can call me when they finish their I don't know, background check or so. So we're still trusting God. Maybe we could hear anything from them.
So we are rounding up now before we take questions from our audience. But before I do, Ali, this question is for you. What role should the Christian Association of Nigeria CAN play in addressing this systematic injustice and what has been lacking so far?
Thank you very much again. I think they can need to meet the people that are at the forefront and they know what is happening. Let them not just assume, not just following what the media is saying, what the government is saying, but let them come and meet us. We have, so far, we know it. If they even want a name, we have names, we have people, we know it. It's not a fiction. We have the documentation. That's one. Two, they should know that they have a role. They have a voice. They are not there on political ground. They have a voice they are choosing so that they will serve as a voice for Christians. It's not just to react as a reactional, but they should serve as a voice for Christians. Three, they should understand that there is a role in issue, for instance, repatriation of refugees. There is a standard rule, and they should understand the issue of transitional and restorative justice. If these things are not done, they just allow the government to do what the government wants to do, there will be no headway. People are suffering, people are being denied, people are still being suppressed. The real people that need attention are not given attention. And the culprits, those that are supposed to be behind the bar, are the ones being celebrated. We see them. I was in Maiduguri, I saw some of them. Even in just here, more than 3 times I was arrested for the sake of just the people that I was just trying to save them. But luckily, they didn't find anything that that warrant them to keep me. The highest, it was just overnight, and they have to leave me. So the church is so quiet, it's so mute.
So have you tried to reach out?
The story.
Yeah, have you tried to reach out to the to CAN, officially as an organization, as an entity? Have you, the way you made effort to reach the government, have you also tried to reach CAN itself?
We have tried through our national office. We have so many press releases that we have written. Reverend Dr. Yuba is having the sample of the copies, can even share with you. We have tried to reach out, even meeting with them, even in person. But at the end, there is no headway. It's just like what is happening now when the issue of genocide came in, and you see a lot of people are even denying, even those that are supposed to want some, they cannot say anything. We have tried our possible best, but we have a limitation. The government can block, the other people can block, and the only thing we just pray. And if we have such opportunity like this, we now air our views. This is what is happening. And it's very rare that we will have such opportunity that we are having with you, where the world can hear us. But as far as I am seeing, they can, if they don't stand up, they have become like as if a political arm of government. They don't have a voice. They cannot stand and talk. Some of them are even being used for political parties, even for campaign. Some of them, their hands are not clean. They have collected some things, so they cannot talk to them. While people like us, we can talk to any of them because none of them can point finger and say, we have given you this and that, or you have collected this thing from us. And that's why we have that voice. And we know that for us, even if we die, it's a gain for us. And if we live, it's still for Christ. It's not a problem for us. And that is the reason we have not collected anything from them. Government cannot accuse us of anything. Even in a workplace, we have integrity. We are living with contentment. And we can stand the truth.
Okay.
But how many of them can come out clearly and say, okay, I am now speaking. If I have done this and that, can you now come and allege that I have done this and that? They cannot. They have already swelled their hands.
Okay.
Yes.
In conclusion,
on Khan issue, in Borno, our former Khan Bishop Naga was shut down by Governor Zulum and said, the way you love your religion is the way I love my religion. So don't talk to me anything about that. He was shut down when he took our complaint to him. He has to leave. But the former Khan president, Daddy Erisha Jafo, has opened his door during the beginning of this issue. He always call us, please come, Gwoza boys, come and tell me the story. Come and tell me the story. And if we want to publish any article, he do assist us, and he gives some helping and encouragement to us. But after the death of Asaki, former General Secretary of Khan, the Khan do now, the people we know have gone. When we went there, there's no, open hand and a kind of pushback. We don't know you. I tried that once and twice. It doesn't work. Then I turn my back at the national headquarters here. So it's like that.
Okay. So, Gabs, are you comfortable to speak now? I want to find out from you, what do community leaders want the Nigerian presidency, assuming the president is listening now, the National Assembly, and the security agency, if they ask you, what is that 2 things that you think your people need urgently?
So the question is so open-ended. The 2 things is number one thing is going back to their ancestral homes, if it's possible. If that is not possible, those people that are in Cameroon should be brought back, and at least to be an internally displaced persons in one's country is better than to be a refugee in a foreign land. And they have said this so. So these are the 2 things that we want the government to do. If taking them back to their ancestral homes is not possible, then find a place anywhere within Nigeria, north central Nigeria, either Taraba, Adamawa, where most of people are now. Bring them back, source a land, settle them, because it has gone to be so complex that if you insist that they must go back to their ancestral home, the insurgency has not finished. But that is their wish, that Gwoza people should be taken back to their ancestral homes. But if government finds it difficult because of the continued insurgency, because of the continued terrorism, you have heard how it is going on now. So if that is not the immediate thing, we are asking now is find a place anywhere in Nigeria, bring them and settle them.
And just in 1 minute, what do you think international community can do for you?
The international community is it is part of the IOM. What is that? International Immigration IOM, what is it? International Organization for Migration, have written that, look, these are people are suffering, and the help that we can give them has been reduced badly by what is happening globally. The resources that we used to take care of them has now been reduced by the global happenings. So they too, they are being constrained by what is happening globally. They have communicated that to us in writing. So it looks like, look, your case is a bad one. Take it to your president if he can assist you. So this is where we are, my brother. Internationally, they have written to us officially that, yes, your people are suffering, especially those in Cameroon, because what we used to give them to take care of them has now been reduced by even more than 50%.
Wow.
So in that case, what do we do?
So we'll round up now. Those of you in this meeting, if you have any question to ask, you can raise your digital hand. I know someone raised hand before, and we haven't come to that segment yet. But now you can raise your digital hand if you have any question to ask. And I would take this final question, and I would want us, all of us collectively, to have a say on this. And I will start with Reverend Dr. Ayuba. We've listened to all this, believing that also those in authorities and those who have the powers to make changes to the plight of the Christian community in Gwoza are also listening. Now, should that be the case, what immediate steps are necessary to ensure safety, justice, and long-term resettlement for displaced Christian families from Gwoza? Ayuba, I mean, you can start, then
Yes.
Ali and Gavs can also intervene on that. Let that just form part of your closing remarks as well.
Okay.
Solution.
I wish that the government agreed to place Gwoza, just one local government, under state of emergency for 3 months. They will flush out these people. A local government, single local government, will not take them 3 months to flush.
So you mean that? You mean that Boko Haram are still in Gwoza? Is that what you're?
Of course, that's what is stopping the people from coming. All those villages that has been wiped out, Boko Haram are there.
Wow.
And they are enjoying their lives there. They are farming.
I thought your governor said there is no Boko Haram in your state anymore.
He should go to Gwoza East and pass a night there if he can. He can't. He can go to Gwoza West and pass a night there. He can't. So a majority of people are in Gwoza East and Gwoza West, not the central. So it's not possible. And to deal with them would require this thing that I said. Number one, state of emergency on that Gwoza local government alone and flush them out. Number two, as he resettle, as he construct for resettlement, remember people that are outside Gwoza, especially the Christian community that he has neglected. He should always remember them. And now that they are there, no government help, and they are in the camp, he should create a mechanism which he can, send some help, some palliative to people to relieve to cushion the problem they are passing through. They need a lot of support. So, and then he should set up a committee comprising of all the faiths, including the youth and every organization with human rights and security together to sit down and provide a solution, A, B, C, of coming back also, and then give him. Number 5, I don't want to expose him. If what we are saying is not true, Can we see the budget, what was spent so far on Gwoza IDP and on construction and rehabilitation and the list of those that are list of beneficiaries?
In the Nigerian context, you're entering a very dangerous territory.
Okay, the last one, the new emergence of Boko Haram has come worse than the Boko Haram. That when you voice out, an organization will come out to counter your voicing out your cry. We know people that are behind it. They are politicians, but the more you cry, they will send them again to bring you down by all costs. This is worse than Boko Haram. So people, if people are not willing to join you in crying, they should keep quiet.
Right. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for your time. Gavs, if you're there, and Ali, if you're there, if you take a minute or two, and to that question, and your final thoughts.
Yeah, thank you very much again. For me, it's not just for us talking; it's relieving that somebody is hearing your voice. Yeah, personally, I'm having some relief. And when I told my dad, he prayed for me. And because to him too, it's relieving that the world is hearing our voice. Thank you for that. What we want, one, there's issue of equality and equity. So not based on religious basis, everybody, based on the Nigerian constitution and the standard practice, equality and equity. That's one. Two, there's a standard practice globally if you want to treat somebody from another country, a refugee. There is a practice, the government knows about it. So they should follow that and keep the sentiment aside. The next one is to make sure that the committee, the so-called committee that they are working with, it's sentimental. It should be balanced. If not, this crisis will again become an issue. And lastly, if I to this one, the Nigerian government should work together with the Cameroonian government and see how they can help. Because this Mandara mountain is from Nigeria to Cameroon. In 2012, before this thing, I went to Cameroon. I was in Yaoundé. I was telling them there is a looming danger. They laughed at me. Not up to 3 months, then there was a strike in Marwa. Then I knew that it's not an easy thing. And before what is happening in the northern part of Cameroon. So they have to join hands together, both the Nigerian and the Cameroon. And lastly, if I may say, there is a documentation perhaps you don't know. The Gwoza and some part of what is happening were not part of Nigeria, and part of Cameroon was not part of Nigeria. If you study the history of Kasar Amana, it's a trust. We were colonized by different part of people, countries, and we were put. Some joined Nigeria, some joined Cameroon. So they should see us that it's a trust that we are under them, and they should do something with equity and justice, and they should apply the transitional and restorative justice, then it will help us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have two people raising their hands. That's Emmanuel Joseph and Reverend Ama Kabung. I will be taking their questions, but Gavs, if you, in that line of thought, if you quickly put in your closing thoughts as well.
Thank you, my brother. Our closing thought is the same with the previous two speakers. What we want is transformative justice, justice for everybody. Let us go back to our homeland. It will be in the interest of the country if we recover that portion of land. As it is now, it is called the Caliphate headquarters of Boko Haram. It doesn't speak well for Nigerian government. It doesn't speak well for the whole country. So as it is, they are on their own. It is a country within a country. Have a peaceful, whether they call it negotiation or flushing them out, let them do something about it. Let them choose where people will be, will go back to their ancestral home, where people will claim the position of their land. So I think we are calling on government on this account that let them do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So on that note, we're coming to the end of it, but I will take a comment or question from Emmanuel Joseph Dawa. Emmanuel, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I just want to contribute a little bit to what my elder brothers and fathers have said. It's still a thing like they said. I think they've achieved the aim of whatever they were playing against the Christians in God. They've achieved it, made us homeless. They started everywhere. And after achieving everything, I think one thing we are still pleading is they should just bring us back to our ancestral homes. I was not at home, but my mother told me of the incident that happened. Where women are the one that buried their husbands. I've never had this in my entire life. I find it hard to believe it. My mother that was telling me I was shameless. I recognize it. In my own small village, at that very day, they killed over 37 people, men, and we know them, and they know them by face. It's too much on us. They've made it like a high level of mockery to the Christendom in Gwoza, and we are peaceful people. We are loving, we are accommodating. We've been with these people for long. We share things together. Some of these houses, they are Christians, they are Muslims. We never had it like this. I don't know why something like this came up. So we are very grateful because, like one of the speakers said, for you to even hear us is another relief. Actually, it's a relief because when we have people that can come like this, we can will get killed. But then we need people to go back to their homes. We can't just be homeless for 11, 12 years.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
So can I ask you, where are you speaking from? Obviously not from Gwoza.
Okay. Me, I'm speaking from Jigawa and also.
Sorry, say that again.
I said I'm in Kano State.
Okay, you're in Kano. Okay. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Let me take the next person. Amakabong, are you there? Can you speak now?
Mazi, we are really grateful for your timely interventions that in recent times have yielded so much result. We are grateful, sir. Truly, I'm sitting here sweating as if I don't know the right word to put it, but I want to really appreciate the efforts of my brethren here and want to suggest one thing and then request for how best we could be praying for them and the best way to help in this situation. But my my advice is that I know that when a responsibility like this is saddled on you, is very, very heavy. For you to carry out responsibility like this and still remain in your sound mind. There is a godly principle in the scripture in 2 Samuel chapter 15, where David had to send one of his closest friends, the Hushai principle. I want to ask if you have been able to try the Hushai principle, because in a situation like this, it is them against us, and it has been made public. Until we use some kinds of strategies, we might never be able to penetrate. I will allow you to read that and get agree on how you will do it based on your context, sir. Reverend Dr. Ayuba, I know you very well and I've known how you have helped me and supported me. But this is it. I please want to charge you that you should honor that and see better ways of reaching out to these people. One of the biggest mistakes we do as Christian community is that we easily call names out, you know, and once we do that, our strategy is blown out. Some of our friends and our brothers that are among these people and helping and lobbying, waiting for the right timing to bring help or succor to us, we are quick to call names, and then they will realize and say, oh, so this person is the one here for you, eh? We will deal with him. So these are some of the weak points that we have. This fight can last very long. So let's begin to make strategies and put them in place. Be deliberate about this thing. The Lord will help us.
Thank you very much.
Like we said, we will come back celebrating one day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Gwoza Elite, please. Then Ishaku. Gwoza Elite, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And I want to appreciate our national coordinator and our uncles that spoken in respect of this issue. I want to contribute. Thank God that at least our voice can be heard outside Nigeria. And we appreciate your initiative for bringing our elders and then the GCCI national coordinator to speak out. You know, military are restricted. Every year I do visit Gwoza twice or 3 times. So if the restriction is within the areas that they thought the military will work, because I have a lot of conversation with the military. And if they have the directive, since the world is hearing us, I plead that let the military defense headquarters give directive for the expansion of their own operation. They shouldn't be within the Goshe, they shouldn't be within Pluka, they shouldn't be within Gwoza. If they move at least from Goshe to Amuda, from Amuda maybe go to Zamga, go to the other places, the remaining places in between, our brethren can come and resettle, even willingly. But when military is within one place, people can never come and then the place cannot. That is number one. Number two, I want, if, though we are still engaging, GCCA is our national body. Gwoza Elite Forum is a wing that we are engaging diplomatically and then dialoguing with the government. We call that the committee, all the committee of the repatriation are Muslim. So we call that one. Christians should be involved. How can you now tell me you want to repatriate me and nobody to speak for me? That's another thing. And then the third, which is my last contribution, I want to plead. The GCCA is overstretched. Some of our national coordinator, Ali, and some other of our elders, they are the ones sponsoring this thing. I plead, sir, and with the within the country and then the globe, that if possible, let's get some other support and then reach out to our GCCA. You know, except you come through like this, there's no way how our voice can be heard all over. But we want to some organization, if there are some of our brethren, to reach out to GCCA so that at least the whole world will hear us more better. Thank you, sir. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much. The last person is, I think, Ali Saki want to say something, but let me take the last question, then he can. Ishaku, please. Ishaku, can you unmute, please? Ishaku, can you unmute, please?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Honestly speaking, we really appreciate that this time around there are other bodies that are coming to our rescue, especially Gwoza Christians. I want to speak specifically and back up the sayings that Zaka Ali and Baba Gabs and Reverend Ayuba have well spoken, that all we need is to repatriate our brethren that are scattered all over the country and others that are in refugee camp. As I speak to you, I'm speaking from Badagry, Lagos. And what we are facing is that all of the communities that have been resettled are not Christian-dominated areas. Only Ngoshe that maybe are 50-50. And those people that were resettled in Ngoshe, majority is like 85 to 90% are Muslims. And within the Pulka that have been resettled, where the real location that our Christian brethren are majority, up till now, is inaccessible area. They've only resettled an area whereby is a Muslim-dominated area. Within the Gwoza town, they know that it is majority Muslim. All the locations where Christians are dominated, like Amuda, Atagara, Agapalawa, Zamga, Jubrili, all these areas, nobody is even thinking of resettling them back, simply because they know if one of those villages are being resettled, the whole Christian brethren will occupy the places. I once worked in Gwoza 2016, 2017. There was a sister that applied for a job in a non-governmental organization simply because she was a Christian Gwoza Muslim, because they are dominant there, insisted that that lady is not an indigenous of Gwoza. Thank God by then we have a brother who was serving as a vice chairman. And when this issue rose, his attention was called. It was with the help of that vice chairman that testified that this lady is a Gwoza indigene. And in 2021, the same scenario happened in Pulka, when Christians were supporting their application letters to be given opportunity to work with MSF organization. The security that was collecting the application letter was a Muslim. So he will select all the Christian brethren that have applied, he will remove their application letters out of that box before submitting it to the boss. And the boss of that, in charge of the employment by then, was a Muslim, and he has no other option than to employ an available application letter that reached his desk. When that thing escalated, when Christian brethren discovered that this was the manipulation, now the manager brought in the application box into his office, that everybody that is applying for that job in MSF should drop in his application into that box. And later, okay, when the shortlisted candidate comes out, majority were Christians, and the same Muslims in Pulka community protested that this organization is only employing Christians. They even reported to the CEO in Pulka, and CEO in Pulka immediately called the attention of MSF boss and asked what was happening. The MSF boss explained to him that we are doing employment based on merit. So those Christian brethren deserve to be employed. We are not making employment based on your religion, your ethnicity, or whatever. So that was how those issues were resolved in Pulka till date in Gwoza Mental and Pulka. For you to be employed in an organization, it gives you headache.
Thank you very
That's
much.
my take.
Thank you. I think it's a very fine place to anchor these. Ali, you indicated before, but did you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just want to plead mercy if it is possible, where maybe you will create an opportunity for fiscal meeting, could be where we can gather some of our stories, and it will carry a lot of weight. As you know, a lot of people are not even joining the
No, it's
with all
fine.
the
It's fine.
publicity. Yes.
I had told Jonathan that I would find time to visit maybe Plateau. I mean, a place that is safe, and that will be arranged. So to speak, I will be doing that with my team. So run like a documentary as to, not only Gwoza, but also some of these things we've heard from many people from the Middle Belt. Okay, so it's something that we have in the works. Hopefully, it's not gonna. I do not think it's gonna be this year, but maybe early next year we will be doing that. Right? Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. As I said earlier, we have listened to stories that pierced the heart and shake the conscience. We have heard from leaders, witnesses, and survivors who carry the pain of an entire people, a people who have endured destruction, displacement, and silence for far too long. What has been shared here this evening is more than information. It is a cry for justice, a call for truth, and a reminder that every statistics represents a human life. What personally broke me is when I listened to my good brother Ali Zaka say that his dad, who is close to 100, if not 100, tells him and begs to go home and die in peace. Anyone listening to that, understanding what it means to have grown old in a particular place and suddenly being uprooted to a strange land, it breaks the heart. It shatters a community. The suffering of the Christian community of Gwoza is not just a regional issue. It's not just a religious issue. It is a human issue, one that demands urgent attention, national responsibility, and global solidarity. It breaks one's heart. As we close this town hall today by Njenje Media TV, London and Nigeria, let us remember that awareness is only the first step. The real work begins now in our collective advocacy, in our prayers, in our demand for accountability, in holding those to account that we have yielded our rights for them to protect us. We are told that the essence of government is to protect life and property. But in this case, that has been, that has not been the case. The voices you heard tonight must not fade after this broadcast. Their stories must not disappear into another cycle of silence. Let this conversation travel beyond this forum here on Njenje Media TV. Let it be into policy-making space, international platforms, and the heart of all those who believe in the dignity of human life. On behalf of myself, on behalf of Njenje Media TV, London and Nigeria, we thank our distinguished speakers, Reverend Dr. Ayuba John Bassa, Gav Katia, and Ali Zaka for their courage, their clarity of thoughts, and their leadership. We thank everyone who has joined us from around the globe for choosing not to look away. May today be remembered as a turning point, the night when silence was broken, truth was spoken, and a wounded community felt seen. Good night, everyone, and may justice prevail. I am your host, Mazi Ezoke. Thank you very much, and I say good night